So we went to the Viper Room that night, and Pamela Anderson was there in her prime. And that sold me on L.A.
I don't care. I'll join the Illuminati, dude. I don't care. I'll do it.
Irvine Improv. The girl got those shoes eating. And I'd just gone up before, and I did a really good set. But I kept popping my head out. Like every time her joke wouldn't land, I'd just and the crowd would just see my head, and they'd get a big laugh, and she was like...
You're now rocking with the funny truth, because it's better with a laugh. The truth is more appealing when it puts you on your ass. Keep it real, I will make it slap with the real. I feel like everybody got a cap, and I'm finna reveal it through a joke. The humor is the way that I provoke. It's the only way to get you to promote. So here we go. We getting serious now. It's the truth, but you know we gotta give you a smile. You know we gotta do that now. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. You're now rocking with the funny truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a shit show, and I try not to do those anymore because I kind of was raised on those shit gigs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you walk into an Applebee's and they remove like a booth and like, here's your stage.
The flyer should have been an indication. If
you
you've
know
seen
what?
the flyer.
A lot of the flyers. I get. You know what? I should have been smarter than that. But you know what? I do like comedy for like
The sport.
For the sport of it, but also it's like I met Jesse before and he gave me a cool gig, so it's like I kind of owe it to him. He's a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I have sympathy, and it's just nice. You know, sometimes it's nice to go and do well for somebody.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, was it a struggle? It was a struggle, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're screaming shit out and they're enjoying it, but they appreciate comedy differently. When they like a joke, they heckle you.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
You know what I mean? It's like,
That's what I was saying about like black rooms, like when the break room used to have their open mic.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I learned that. Like I would come out with when I do that fentanyl joke. That's like that kills there, and then like they all start talking to each other. Like they laugh and they're like, "Yeah, bro," and they're like they forget that someone's on stage talking.
Yeah.
You got to be like,
they're all
"Yo,
good time." You know? Yeah.
It just sparks conversation. That's what it does sometimes.
yeah." So
That's where we met. I'm about to go on stage. He goes, "You next?" I'm like, "Unfortunately,
I guess so.
you're the guy Jesse told me about.
Good luck.
Yeah, man. But it's cool out here, man. I love the comedy.
Oh yeah, it's a great place to develop. Like I'm still a resident of Oregon, but I do my comedy out here.
Yeah.
Because Portland's like the worst city to do comedy in.
I don't know anything other than that Harvey's. I don't.
Oh yeah.
But
well,
you got like 7 clubs.
Yeah, there's just one club out there, and then the rest is gonna be like bar shows. Like,
Yeah.
And
he's not very like open to developing comics, or he wasn't when I knew him.
well, that's how most I think big clubs have a choice. They can go the corporate route, or they're like a Harvey's. I wasn't doing comedy when Harvey's was
Oh, really?
a thing. No, they just started up like the brand again for like pop-up shows. Like have you done like Don't Tell shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like they're having like their own little
Oh, that's cool.
Harvey's pop-up type thing.
Yeah. Hey, can I bring up the story that I wanted to tell?
Yeah, absolutely.
He says he's a Jeselnik fan.
Yeah.
And I was listening, on I think it was Instagram. Jeselnik was telling the story how he and Nate Bargatze was on an elevator, and LeBron James got on. And I won't butcher the story, but long story short, Bargatze was like, "Dude, let me see your dick."
No, he wasn't.
to LeBron.
No way. No, he didn't. No, he didn't, bro.
Bro, you're gonna hear the story.
Oh my
I
god.
see Bargatze, and he's funny, great comic, but he kind of seems straight laced. But apparently, he goes, "Let me see your dick," and LeBron's like, "What?" And then he's like, "Come on, man, let me see it." And then Bargatze said something like, "If you show me your dick, I'll take one of your pubes and put it in my mouth and swallow it, and I'll never brush my teeth again." And he's sitting there with Jeselnik too, so Jeselnik's just like, and he said the tension in the elevator is like,
Dude, I mean,
but I guess LeBron was like, "Oh, you guys got jokes?"
Yeah.
And he was playful, and I think he
Like,
gave
thank
him a pube.
No way, dude.
Shut the hell up.
Bargatze swallowed it, and they got out of the elevator and went their separate ways, and they said he never talked about it again. I heard that story. I was like, that's
Who told that
fucking-
story?
Jeselnik told it. He's like, that's the story I'm telling. But I just saw it today.
Okay.
I love.
I have to
love
look that up, man.
Dude,
I
I
have to look that
love
up.
those stories,
Dude,
man.
that's insane.
When comics get together, man,
So it's it's
reckless.
It's reckless.
reckless, and
It's
you get
shameless. It's reckless. It's just tremendous.
Yeah, because nobody feeds off each other like comics. Like, we just,
Oh,
we want
yeah.
to you want to one up each other, and you want to just.
Always. But it's always you get nothing to lose. You're with a friend.
Yeah.
It's definitely a memory. Like that story.
yeah.
I mean, I've had some stories. That's a hilarious story, man.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like me and this guy. I mean, whenever we go out and we're like going out, and one of us is just too much, it's like the other one has to almost dial it back just to balance it out.
But
There's
there's
no bail
there's
needed?
sometimes where it just
We're just a shit
all
show.
hell breaks loose. For
Oh yeah. Oh,
Both.
that's great.
Yeah.
Why are you guys big drinkers? Do you go out and rip it up that way, or do you just fuck with people? Or?
sometimes all the above, man.
Yeah, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm by myself, I'm usually like quiet. I don't talk to
Yeah, I
anybody.
can tell you seem like a quiet kid when I first met you.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need a joust from this guy and a Coors Light.
Oh
huh?
yeah. Dude. Oh dude. When I'm with the friends though, it's like, oh,
All hell breaks loose.
you guys got my back. All right, I'm gonna say it.
He was at a. Weren't you at like an after party? Was it an after party or was it like a regular party where Eric had to say we're autistic
Oh yeah, he had to.
because the hosts were like really not feeling you?
Well, yeah, like, well, because like you walk in somewhere where you're the stranger and everyone else is family, and like they're all getting along, and like, oh, what's you're a comedian, and then you're just like, and then I start drinking and shit, and like all of a sudden, I don't know, I find myself in these like situations where it's like, why am I in this confrontation right now? I don't even know what happened. How do we get here?
How do we get here?
Like, and, like, yeah, like
That's when you know it's a good night. How do we get here?
when it's like I'm a class clown, but I'll fuck with people too. Like, still think I'm serious and just like draw them in. I don't know what I did, but it was like the ladies, whoever's house was the mom, and it was like all her kids and then like all the family, and like it was me and the mom now going at it.
Arguing or
Yeah, like I wasn't.
Banter?
You know what happens is sometimes it happens with women with me a lot. Where I'll like say something and like pisses them off.
Yeah.
And instead of like just keeping it here, they start yelling so everyone can hear, and now everyone's like watching,
bring it in,
and you're
yeah.
like, okay.
There we go.
Like I was, I did that at another party where I did it at another party where like it was the host's house again. It was the girl, and I was just out there. I was like, oh yeah, what's your name? Just being cordial, and then we start talking. I was really talking with my friend, and we're talking about like, I was talking about sports and like how, starting talking about like betting stuff that girls don't want to talk about, blah blah blah, and then like, she's like, you're like really weird, like you're like blah blah, and I was like, yeah, I have a tendency to scare the hoes away, and she's like, I'm not a hoe. I was like, I didn't say you were, but I mean,
Somebody's hoe.
and then like she freaked out. Everyone started listening, and then she's like, you know what? Maybe okay. So what? I am a hoe. It's like, look,
You're sorting that out within
How did we
yourself.
get here?
yeah, dude. I don't know.
Is that like a common thing when you get drunk? That you kind of get in arguments with random people?
It happens sometimes. It's like a percentage.
It's like a sign of alcoholism. You're in the official fuck it zone, by the way, in your life with respect to losing the job, in comedy.
That's where I think yeah. That's where I found out.
Fuck it,
I
man.
found out
See what
that's
happens.
that's how I found out I'm
Roll the
Jewish,
dice
man.
and see.
You are Jewish.
The ability to stir the pot is like it's dude. I can't. I don't even try to do it. It just happens.
Keep it going. See where that goes. Honestly, it always leads to. Listen, I honestly think the reason we're here is because the stories that we accumulate over time and the shit that
dude.
happens to us.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're not fucking causing havoc and chaos everywhere you go, then you're not doing it right.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I was telling you about the stuff that happened with me in Portland. The local comedian scene out there, like they are livid.
Did you won the contest?
Well, I didn't win. I took like first in that round and moved on to the quarterfinals.
Oh, all right.
And I brought, because I'm fucking from there, I brought like over 40 people, packed that place out, crushed my set. And then there's like some comedians in the back and others that were on the contest that were just like, oh, this guy's a transphobe. He's ableist. I was like, sorry.
I do these people.
Yeah, that's like,
the fuck are they talking about?
Leave it
You're
to
lost.
Leave it to Portland to like. Oh, I've never heard the word ableist. Like,
If you have to use a made up word to describe it, it's probably not
Labeling
happening.
people, yeah.
well, it's not a made up word. I get like I looked it up. It's what it sounds like ableist. Like, oh, you think you're better than somebody because you can speak or as function. It's like, well, isn't that why? Isn't that why we have the Special Olympics? Like, isn't that the whole fucking point?
Unableist.
Isn't that why we have handicap parking? Like, it's
Where's the understanding for people like me?
yeah.
Laziness. No.
Well, yeah, but you come from there's a big reason why I like stopped operating out of that scene is because of you couldn't fucking get up there because like part of getting in and on shows is like getting along with the local scene. It was like it's almost like a crime to be like a straight, tall, good-looking white guy in a place like Portland when you're doing comedy.
I want to say this, and I don't want to be mean, but like every city I go to, there's a local scene.
Yeah.
And they all have this really crazy ego.
Yeah.
And they all think they're the shit, and they all experience nothing.
Right. But,
And yet,
you make the rules on comedy?
Yeah.
and they walk around like they're fucking the gods of comedy, and it blows my mind. I mean, they may be the gods of comedy in their small town.
In their home, yeah.
You know,
and they're the funniest person in their house, dude.
But like
Yeah.
it's like if a headliner comes into town and he's a legitimate headliner, wouldn't you want to like learn or
Yeah.
be respectful or nice
or anything else but what you're doing.
or study it?
Yeah.
So you can actually become a real comic. It's just the ego blows my mind.
Yeah. It's just
Every city.
it's just they like that importance, that feeling of importance and feeling of like,
Yeah.
and they don't like to feel
That's-
like they're not. That's one of one of the
big
quotes
fish.
I sent you that clip with Adam Dominguez where he was like, if you had to like a bitches be like, but comics be like, and he was like, comics be like, I'm important. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of funny though. Like whenever you're a young comic and you start kind of killing,
yeah.
you do kind of feel like you're cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
fun.
It's because until you make it into that next plateau,
Yeah.
it's like you feel good because you're on the rise. And I've gotten that feeling before of like, getting stuff done, and then people are like, oh, wow, I'm paying attention to you because
Yeah.
you're new here and, I've seen you before. But once you get to the point of like, okay, we've seen you around, it's like people are going to get tired of that real
real
quick.
fast.
Real
Yeah.
fucking quick because then you have to move on to the next plateau.
Yeah, you're gonna get to the next level. I mean, dude, listen, I'm at the point now. It's like I need some fucking followers, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like without that, you don't get into the game. Like, if comedy be like, man, I need some followers. You get in there because I want to be funny. I want
Yeah.
to write good
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
And then like each plateau is a new challenge, and you're just like, then you get to this one where it's like you're gonna get followers. Like, how do you get people to like me?
Yeah.
I thought the
Oh,
jokes
dude.
were gonna be good enough, but
Dude, getting people to like is fucking
just like follow me like I'm some kind of messiah. It's like I write
And that's the
dick
most
jokes.
annoying thing in the world. But that's one of the things I learned early on too. Is just like follow me. And I'm like, I feel so stupid saying
it's
that.
awful to say
Just
to
like,
people.
just so dumb, dude. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
But you got to remind people.
but
Got to remind them,
You
man.
do. You do.
Like I really fucking I need you.
you
yeah,
to like me.
because you have to be. We're just in the age
And the
where
harder
you have to
part-
be accessible.
The harder thing,
Yeah.
the crazy thing is like the people closest to you a lot of times are the ones who like they don't want to do that because like for whatever reason. I knew people. I read this quote because I was always like, why is it that like I feel like family and like some of my best friends growing up, some of the biggest haters that you get, like just like
Family.
right, exactly. Yeah, and it's like I was like, why is that? And I was reading a quote somewhere. It's like people want to remember you at a time where they have more power over you.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like,
yeah.
oh, that makes sense. Like, that's why mom still talks to me that way. That's why, like, that's why you still talk about high school and shit like that. Like,
Totally, yeah, because that was their prime. It's so funny because I remember like when I was like 7 years into comedy, my family and my family's friends would be like, "So what's the backup plan?"
yeah.
And it's like,
Oh yeah.
Dude,
it's like, why would I have a backup plan if this is working out now? And they're like, well, I mean, is there a living you can make? And it's like, look at some of these comics; they're making $50 million a year.
But
I'd
you
say
can
that's
never be
quite a
that.
fucking-
But
yeah.
they never want to look at you like that.
Well, then all of a sudden, 3 years later, when you're doing well, now they're like, "Hey, can you get us some tickets to the show?" And it's like,
nah, it's already
Oh.
sold out. I did you join the email list? I
the
sent it out.
non-haters got my tickets. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, for
There's some haters, man, and I get it. It's a tough industry. Don't get me wrong. I mean, probably
I think it's-
99% of the people who try comedy
Oh, dude.
end
Yeah.
up.
Oh, I think
not
it's the,
doing
I think it's the
shit.
haters that the only ones that really bother me are the ones that were like people that are close to me. It's like that one hurts the most. Those
Yeah.
hurt because I've always tried to be like supportive of somebody, unless like you think it's actually delusional, you know, like and still even like I used to be an agent. I used to be a basketball agent like a year.
Oh wow.
And I'd have dudes that like my friends like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to play pro. I was like, you haven't played in like 5 years, and you're like 30 years old, and you want to play pro. I was like, I don't want to knock your dreams, dude, but I think I'm still better than you. Like I don't think.
We were talking about that with a comic the other night where he was talking about how hard he crushes, and we're like,
Dude, I was
you
trying to-
sure?
You sure?
You sure about that?
Anyone there to testify to this? There's some delusion out there.
I said that.
Yeah,
the
it's
other,
delusion.
well, because like after you had left, somebody else was I was talking with them, another one of the comedians on the show, because give me a ride home, and I was like, he was telling the same stories, and I was like, he kind of sounds like that guy that has a girlfriend that goes to a different school, you know? Oh yeah, you don't know her, bro. You don't know.
She's hot.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
Some people
model.
hang on to those like moments where they like really killed it, or they really, and that's all they can think about.
well, sometimes you think you really did kill it, and
Hope
that's
can be dangerous.
yeah,
It can cause you to waste a lot of people's times. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that one time you got to laugh, and meanwhile you don't realize someone pulled their dick out behind you. Like, I'm killing.
Oh, dude, they did that to a local
Oh
comedian.
my
They
god,
did that to a local
That's
comedian
so-
out here. They had it
Oh
on
my
film. Like,
God.
he's notoriously like if you're ever going to an open mic or anywhere, and there's a good crowd, if this guy's up before you, like, well, now I don't even know if my stuff's gonna work because everyone's gonna leave after this guy.
Yeah.
But,
That bad?
He's awful, dude.
awful.
And
Blocking
like
people?
and like
Awful.
that's where the delusion comes in. Is like, okay, you've been doing this for 3-4 years, and you come every night to every mic, and you still suck. Like, not even close
Why do
to.
they even put them up anymore? Like, what's the purpose?
Well, because it's an open mic, and that's what it's for. But
Sometimes you just need a warm body.
Don't they cut some people on the open mic list?
man,
Don't
yeah.
they? Like,
They,
we don't
they
have enough
really
time.
don't.
They should.
Really?
No,
They-
dude, this is the most. This is the most. This scene out here is the most. Like, people get so many more opportunities than they deserve out here.
Wow.
What like?
I never really thought about it.
It's
That's like such a foreign concept.
Because in
That,
L.A., they pick out of a hat because there's so many people who want to go out.
yeah,
So you're left. There's people left not
they
doing the
they
show.
do that out here, but they actually just finish it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not all the places.
Well,
but,
not
like,
all the
If
places,
you want to do
but,
club
like-
open mics, a little different.
Oh, that's a little different. But
like, I'm talking
yeah,
bar.
bar. There's just so many bar
Oh,
shows,
okay.
and that's a community in and of itself
Yeah,
out here.
I
Yeah.
bet, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but-
there's not really club open mics. There's bringers.
There was someone that was doing that, bro. Back to what you were saying. There's
But
like
yeah,
there's
anyways.
a curtain behind like one of the stages, and like someone kept popping their face out, and people were dying laughing as this guy's just eating shit, and he's just up there thinking he's murdering, dude. Like finally, it's all coming together.
This is all about me.
Tonight's the night.
Oh, but I was like, you should post that video, dude. It would crush him.
Oh man, yeah, it would destroy his whole fucking life. It really would. Because there was a girl I did a show in the Improv in Irvine Improv. And the girl was up there. She was just eating shit. And I'd just gone up before, and I did hit a really good set, but I kept popping my head out. Like every time her joke wouldn't land, I'd pop my head out. And the crowd would just see my head, and they'd get a big laugh. And she was like, "I think the joke's just gonna laugh." And
Holy shit. That's like the SpongeBob shit where he jumps out on stage like clean. And
Oh, you start
sits there,
mopping or sweeping or whatever the fuck.
more of that guy.
And then Squidward goes out there and they're like, this guy fucking sucks. Or whatever. Not fucking sucks.
This guy stinks.
This guy stinks.
Yeah.
Whatever the quote is.
I feel bad for a lot of female comedians, like, because per capita, a lot of them, but a lot of comedians in general, or aspiring comedians, suck. But or they're just not there yet, right? But wherever, but like for females, it's like one goes up and sucks. They're a representation of all the females. and you're
yeah,
like,
it's tough. I mean, comedy in general is
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
But I think in a lot of people say women aren't funny, and
I disagree, but it's like you can't generalize, but yeah.
No, but here's the reason, and that some of them do, is because they don't contour their material universally. They contour it towards women.
Sure.
And men, I'm gonna laugh at the shit that they
Right.
don't
Yeah.
think is funny. So if you're just going for 50% of the audience, you're only gonna get maybe 25% because 25% is not going to like it, and the other 25 may like it.
Well, red-pilled girls don't like female comedians.
You know?
What's the Jeff
conservative
Jeff
type
Dye
girls.
quote where he says that like men laugh at anything, but women have to laugh at something that makes sense to them.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Dye talked about that. I can remember that.
Yeah.
But I bring female openers to open for me for many years.
Yeah.
Because I just know how tough of an industry it is, and, and how tough it is to get opportunities.
Yeah.
And I have definitely brought some girls that have potential.
Yeah.
And work hard.
The problem is that affirmative action shit, where it's like that's what it felt like in a place like a Portland, where it's like you're putting the girls on the show because you're trying to be like, well, look at us, look at me, I'm booking because I'm trying to smash, not because you're like she's actually really funny and should get an opportunity. Like,
Yeah, like a lot of the women comedians like we've met, like they're the good, like the really good ones are really, really fucking good.
We've had them on the podcast.
Yeah, we've had them on the podcast. Like
if you're a good female comedian, we've had you on the podcast.
Yeah, we've had you on the podcast. And they're hilarious and they're profound.
Yeah, there's some good. There's some real good. Adrian Appalucci out of New York. She opened up for Louis in his last special.
Oh, wow.
Watch her stuff, dude. She is like
killer,
hilarious. Really dry.
Oh yeah,
really dry.
I love that.
And,
I love that too.
And her punchlines are just they just kill, dude.
That's what I find. I think I don't know. I'm a connoisseur of learning comedy. New York style is very much tight written jokes. L.A. style is theater club students. You know, like act outs. Oh, like I'm doing this because I'm trying to get in a movie or something. Mm-hmm. Where New York's just like straight comedy.
Yeah, when I went to New York, I go to New York to usually tape something, you know, and I always go a week before to prep for it.
Yeah. And
I'll go to these clubs, man, you know, half a dozen of these clubs I've never been to before, and I've seen comics I've never seen before just murdering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck? Because they get those 4 or 5 shows a night.
Yeah.
As opposed to 4 or 5 a month.
Well, it is like the city or traditionally has been the city to go to.
Yeah, totally.
Where it's
where are you from originally?
I'm from Boston.
You're from Boston? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I kind of wish I had just gone to New York because a lot of people from Boston did that, like Danes and Burr and a few other. Joe List did that. Oh. But I went to L.A., man, because I needed some sun.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
And here's my story, man. My junior year of college, after I finished my junior year, I'm like, I need to have a different summer.
Yeah.
So I drove cross country with this random dude I met at UMass Amherst. I ended up being real good friends with him. We went to San Diego.
Wow. Oh, great place to go.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, I love
Especially
San Diego.
for the summer.
Absolutely.
It was a party, dude.
I used to go there every summer from here.
One of my, still to this day, one of my favorite cities to go to. Mm-hmm. Just so while we were in San Diego for the 3 months of the summer, we're like, let's take a trip. Let's go up to L.A. because I wanted to go up to L.A.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to move to L.A. eventually. I knew I wanted to.
Yeah,
do
it's
the
just a
LA
2-hour
thing.
drive north too.
So we went up there. Didn't know where the hell we were. We went to the Viper Room because at the time the Viper Room was the shit. It was Johnny Depp's.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Famous people there all the time, and we were like, okay, let's go check this out.
Yeah.
So we went to the Viper Room that night, and Pamela Anderson was there in her prime.
Holy shit.
We're talking Baywatch prime.
Yeah.
And, bro, when I say this woman glowed, she was by far the hottest thing that I had ever seen in my life. Like, she glowed, man.
Like, didn't look like a real person.
Like, you would sell your soul to the devil for that?
Bro, she had, like, she was prime time.
Yeah.
But
that was the hottest woman on the planet.
And she was. Let me tell you. Her skin was perfect. Her hair was perfect. She smelled great. She had people around her protecting her.
Jesus.
And that sold me on L.A. I was like, I'm going to LA.
Yeah, that was like the...
That was it.
Yeah, you got the full, like, L.A. experience. Like,
totally, man.
You walked into a place and just saw the biggest celebrity on the planet. Like,
and
I don't care. I'll join the Illuminati, dude. I don't care. I'll do it.
And she was, honestly, man, I got to say, that was such an impact on me.
Sure.
And quite the experience. My buddy went up and tried to talk to him. Like, hey, you know,
like 10 people walked up to him before he even
got
close.
That's one thing that always amazes me is the audacity of like certain dudes. Like they will
nothing to lose.
You know, I
nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Dude.
I've always been amazed at the audacity. More of a strategic like. gonna wait for my opportunity. If it never comes, God's plan.
And you know what, dude? Even if you say something like, like, hey, you got gum or, something stupid, at least you got the interaction and the experience and the memory. It's a memory you would have remembered for the rest of your life, man. Think about that. Pamela Anderson in her prime is probably one of the hottest women of any generation.
Yeah, if you made her laugh, dude, I'd tell that story like every fucking
I made her laugh uncomfortably.
Was the Viper Room? The Viper Room was it a comedy place?
No. The Viper Room is like it was a club, and Johnny Depp kind of opened up. It was really small. I would say maybe a little bit bigger than this hotel room. Really small.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It was tiny.
Like the exclusive clubs like that are usually like that. It's like,
and they bring in bands because Johnny Depp was in. He did music, but mostly it turned into like celebrity depression house. Because when you remember the Counting Crows, that band, the Counting Crows?
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, the guy was really struggling with fame,
Yeah.
and being recognized, and didn't like going outside.
People will make fun of that, but you don't know till you're in that. That's
Bro, listen, I don't want fame. I do not.
Yeah.
I have friends that are very good at it. Like Russell Peters is a good friend of mine, and he walks down the street, and people approach him all the time, and he's excellent at it. Really good. Talks to everyone, very, very nice. But some people, man, are not good at it.
I just don't understand people's audacity. Like when I see a celebrity or someone who else, I leave them alone.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to talk to them.
Sure.
I don't like to be a fanboy of people either. Personally, like okay, if we have to interact, we have to interact. But I just prefer to treat everyone. How I would treat anyone else.
Yeah, you're weird with that. I never understood. I'm a big fan of people. Like I remember I didn't hold myself back when I ran into Nate Diaz at the club one time.
Oh, great.
And I was like, "You're the man, bro!" Like I don't know. I just I turned into a little kid.
Yeah.
Like I'm a grown ass
exciting.
adult, but I'm like, that's Nate fucking Diaz, dude. And I'm just like, "You're the man, bro!" And I was like, and then in my head I'm like, and then after I like shook his hand, he was like, "Okay, bro, whatever." And I walked away. I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Was he cool?
He was super cool, dude.
Right.
And thank God he didn't just like punch me or something. But
He's a bad motherfucker.
yeah, that's a bad dude.
Yeah,
and like I was like, dude, that's the guy that put Conor McGregor against the ropes, dude. Like in his prime.
He
Like,
gave a lot of people great fights.
oh yeah, absolutely, it's amazing fight.
There's something about a chin that you can't teach. Like he's not necessarily the most tactically or technically, but like I've emptied the tank for 4 rounds and he won't fucking go down.
Progressively gets better as the rounds go on.
As he gets bloodier.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think
Meets
it's that he gets better. It's that the other person gets worse because they're tired.
Sure.
Like I've thrown 300 significant strikes and landed 80% of them, and this guy still just keeps
he's
coming.
just like,
Coming
what's
at
up,
you.
bro?
Yeah.
Flipping you off like what's that?
Bro, he's unbelievable. He really is. He can take a punch. He can take a beating.
You think how do you think he's gonna do against Logan or Jake Paul?
I don't like Jake Paul's. I don't like Jake Paul and what he's doing.
Reminds me of them
the
19-year-old
boxing.
kids at the.
But I think Jake Paul's gonna beat on him, dude.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
He has a punch. He has punching power.
Well, if you have money and you can just spend all your time training, you can get good. And you're like, it's not like those. It's not like the Paul guys were bad athletes.
He's a pretty big guy.
Like I remember following Logan Paul like way back in the day on Vine, and he'd be doing like backflips, and he was like always ripped. It's like it's not like he's just because he's online doesn't mean he's not an athlete.
Oh no, dude, he's beaten some legitimate fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva is a legitimate fighter.
He is a legitimate fighter.
It just shows the difference between boxing and it's like trying to compete in improv or roast battle when you're like, I just do stand up. Yeah. But this is a niche type
it's a
thing.
whole different. But even that Mayweather McGregor fight, Mayweather could have put him away in 3. Easily.
Oh yeah,
could have.
Absolutely.
He made it a show, and it was a show. But you got to give him 10 rounds to give him their money's worth. And Mayweather is an entertainer when it comes down to
Well,
it.
that's professional sports in general. That's what I learned. That's what kind of turned me away from sports. I grew up playing sports. I watched obsessively, and then I learned the business side and was like, I kind of hate sports because it's all kind of fake, like a little bit.
Anytime when there's money and power, man, there's a little bit of
Well, and then we look up to like these athletes as if like they're people that really should be giving them, or their opinions matter more than like other people. It's like this guy puts.
But it's just the WWE thing. It's like, oh, I didn't know it was scripted until But they're still athletes at the end of the day.
I mean, some of these people are at a level where you'll never see again. You know, the quality of play. Even that new kid coming in, I'm excited to see what he can do.
What's that dude from Wemby, whatever the fuck his
Yeah,
name?
Wemby and Nada or whatever. Yeah. We're gonna be saying his name a lot more, but unless he becomes a bust like some of these other guys.
The thing is,
Zion
being that tall is being that tall is tough, dude. Like to sustain it, because basketball is very hard on your body.
Oh yeah,
the jumping and the running, and then like
knees,
and that's where like people that like shit on like NBA players, like he's getting paid all this money, he's complaining about load management. Is like, first of all, games are 48 minutes. You play 82 in a year, and if you make the playoffs, you have this many games.
7 weeks.
College is only like 30 to 40 games.
Yeah, but think about the wear and tear on the body later on in life. That's what they're paying them for.
Yeah, exactly.
They're paying them for the years where they're going to be hobbling around for 20 years.
Yeah, that's why like
because their knees are blown out.
You see NFL guys, is like you see like dudes play 1 year and then dip after they got their like contract.
Oh yeah,
it's like I respect that move.
Yeah,
get out early, dude.
Those linemen only have 5 years, shelf life, about 4 or 5 years in the pros, and you might as well get all the money you can and dip out with health.
The peak of running backs. I mean,
oh god, they're figuring out.
Except for
they just figured that out now. Too.
Except for. Again, he's like a Nate Diaz from the Bay, Marshawn Lynch. He'd show up anytime and just do his thing.
Just beat the shit out of people.
He's something about people from the Bay, dude.
You think
Bay Area people are different?
Right now?
Yeah.
You think he could?
I think he could.
Remember when the Seahawks
came back?
Remember when the Seahawks did that? He didn't play all year, and then they made the playoffs, and then they brought him back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he still scored like a touchdown.
I think so too.
Dude, I mean, he's a beast, but the problem with that is, like we were just kind of referring to, is like they figured out the running back where it's like, dude, we'll switch you out in 2 years.
Yeah.
We'll give you a workhorse fucking schedule. We'll run you 258 times, and then we'll get you a new one in the draft. In 2
look
years.
at Adrian Peterson. I mean, one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, but his peak was like.
Dude, he was tough because he would have a year where he was injured, and then a year like where he crushed, and a year where like he beat his kid and like suspended, and then a year where he comes back and crushes.
I think Elliott from Dallas is the perfect example. When he got into the league, they workhorsed him, and now they just released him. Yeah,
I'm a Dallas fan. Yeah, I'm a huge Dallas fan.
Are you a Patriots guy? Was that your team?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking Patriots.
I mean, we got lucky.
But that's fair because you're from Boston. It's like I'm from Oregon, so
what do you got?
Seahawks.
Like
that's the closest thing we have.
Oh yeah,
you got a couple.
We have college. Oregon Ducks is big. My family was my dad was a season ticket holder growing up, and we watched
Corvallis, right, or
Eugene,
University
of Oregon, Nike town.
Yeah,
but they developed into like a national powerhouse over the time we were going to games. Like they used to suck. Tickets were like $19.
Yeah, the coach. What was his name?
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, he turned out to be a bust in the pros, but college.
Dude, it's so hard to be. The pro game is way different.
Oh yeah, way different.
You know, you see Tim Tebow like go to the pros.
Yeah, he was like a god in college.
You know what I've always thought was funny too is like a guy like Tim Tebow. Everyone just wanted to hate him for like because he's like super, into Christianity, whatever. But like if you're like a celebrity who's into Satan worship, be like, oh, that's dope. But you can't be like, I want to dedicate this to God. Like they're like gay.
Yeah. I promise to God that we'll have the best season ever.
But Tim Tebow was also
pussy.
Pussy. Snort some coke.
Right. But then Tim Tebow was also the quarterback of that Florida team that had Aaron Hernandez on it, like Urban Meyer's the coach, and like all these other like very, very interesting characters.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did have
I didn't think about that.
There was like a video I watched. It's like this would be the craziest documentary because the team that they had that they won national titles with was like
Felony Row, right?
Dude, yeah, and then you got Tim Tebow, the fucking preacher quarterback, leading the charge,
with God on his back, throwing touchdowns. And you know what's so funny is even as a pro, he got made fun of because his technique His throwing technique was awful.
Yeah.
But he won some playoff games. He
did.
won more than Romo did.
Yeah, he hit somebody
and
in the
Romo
end
was
zone to win
insane.
it. Like,
Yeah. Remember that playoff game? He was
the
on the
Steelers.
2-yard line.
Yeah.
Hit him a cross route.
Yeah, hit him on a cross
92
route.
yards.
Tim Tebow was a great passer if it was under 7 yards, dude. He could
Yeah, and
But
he
it-
had, but
that's
he had
the reason-
hard, and he could win.
That's the reason the Broncos won the Super Bowl is because they had such a good defense. It's like, if we just get Peyton Manning in here, get rid of Tebow, we could win.
Peyton Manning didn't do shit in that Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
No.
He did not even deserve a ring. The defense should have got the ring.
oh yeah,
I remember what the
absolutely.
Seahawks did to him, though, that first year. That's a fucked up thing about sports. Seahawks beat them in the Super Bowl, like 43-8 that one year.
Oh, that one when
The most
first
boring
play
Super
was-
Bowl that we
the
probably-
first play was
Oh,
a
God.
safety.
In our lifetime, probably the most boring Super
Probably
Bowl.
the most boring.
That
Super
was
Bowl.
the worst.
That was-
But, like, that's my team, and we won, and I was still falling asleep during the game. Like,
Yeah, fuck it.
But what we remember more is losing to the Patriots when we should have won with Lynch. Like,
I got kicked out of the house party I was at because I couldn't control myself. Yeah. That was a crazy game.
Well,
man.
you're like
especially at
nuts.
the end.
You're
Yeah.
have you ever seen that video? There's this video of this Seattle fan that's like, he's like, you do not throw the ball on the 1 yard line when you have Marshawn Lynch as your running back, and he runs into his big screen TV and just crushes it, and he just lights it up, dude. And
I think that sparked the whole running into it, like or breaking your TV.
People started
thing.
breaking their TVs.
Yeah, and then there was
Became a
like, and then
trend.
every year there's somebody breaking their TV
Yeah.
over something.
I think, but that was the last straw for me. Is that was the year where the Ducks lost in the national title game against Ohio State, and then we lost the Super Bowl 2 weeks later, and like I was just like, I was so physically sick from seeing my teams lose that I just stopped caring about professional sports.
The only defense I have to the Patriots winning that Super Bowl is the miraculous catch that brought them down to the 10-yard line initially, where the ball had been
by
tipped,
Curse?
and then it just kind of fell in the dude's
but
hands.
it's
and
kind of
on his
like
back.
it was like you reliving like the David Tyree
Yes.
catch. You're like, there's always that one catch.
And the other one, Manningham down the sidelines, or the other Giants
Yeah.
loss we had, another miraculous catch down the sideline. It's like when those plays happen, you know it's the end.
Yeah, exactly.
You know it's the end. So at that point, having to lose those two Super Bowls and then for that play to happen, I was like, oh no, here we go again.
I was thinking, here we go again.
Yeah,
Like, I was,
yeah, you son
I,
of a
dude, I
bitch.
already thought we won. I was like, just like, let's go. And then they threw the pick. I was like, huh. I felt sick, dude.
Dude, yeah, it's funny how sports hit you like that.
And then you got people
I
watching
know.
with you that don't give a shit, and they start talking shit, and you're just like, bro,
That's
don't
what
talk
happened.
to me. Don't
dude.
talk to me right now, man.
When the Patriots were going for the perfect season,
Yeah.
everyone turned on me.
yeah, right.
Because they were like, they didn't want to see it. They just didn't want the Patriots again. You know.
Well, and being Patriots fan, see, again, it's different because you're from there. But like, I lived in Oregon. There's all these Patriots fans that pop up that you're like, bro, you're not that's not your team.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a team.
They were probably Tom Brady fans. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Tom Brady fan, but I was also a Patriots fan because
You know what? It aged poorly, but I was like a Michael Vick fan. He was like my favorite player.
Michael Vick was a badass.
Oh, he was a bad motherfucker.
And that's interesting, the perspective that you learn. Because I've come from the Northwest where it's very soft, granola, crunchy, liberal. But dogs are like treated like people out there. So you hear about dog fighting, you're like, yo, what the fuck? But then
That's evil.
I was in one of my like college classes, in a sports ethics class, and this black dude in the back, old dude, like in his 40s from the South, raised his hand. He's like, y'all talking like this, but like back where I'm from, like dog fighting is just what we grew up with. Like that's a thing. And I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was
Where's
like
Michael Vick from originally? Do you know?
I don't know where Michael Vick is from.
Virginia?
Is he from Virginia?
I think
And
he's from Virginia.
Is like a very, very.
I guess the real fault in what he did, regardless of the dogfighting is bad, is that he had money, so he didn't need to fight dogs.
Yeah, but true.
You mean
some
like
people
as a
just
sport,
love
like a
people just
side
love
sport?
gambling, dude.
Yeah.
Like gambling is like another drug. It's
Yeah,
like
he's from Virginia.
yeah.
So that's South. I mean,
Yeah, that's South.
Well, yeah, and so the dude was putting
different culture.
The dude put the perspective. I'm glad he said that because I was like, I'm thinking like, yo, that's fucked up. How could you ever do? But if you just grew up with it and it's normalized and it's like that's just how like shit works.
Some people don't. Dude, I went down to Colombia, South
yeah.
America.
Bogota.
I went to several places, but I didn't go to Bogota. But they treated the dogs horrifically
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
They're like kicking them in the streets and shit, and like,
Yeah.
whoa, dude, that's a dog.
I know I dated a girl, and she was just like, I just feel so bad for dogs. And like, me growing up on the reservation,
Yeah.
dude, it was just like, you hit a dog, and you're like, you just keep driving. You don't stop
Really?
and pull over. Like, because there's just so many wild dogs
Oh,
Well,
that just live on the reservation.
when you guys have like skinwalker dogs, you know what I mean? Like,
So you might have taken down an enemy, an op. I think I got the op, dude.
see, I grew up with like a very, we always had dogs, but I've more adapted, like, not so much hit them and leave. Like,
Dude,
I still love them, but I'm like,
know, it's like,
I'm like, bro,
I'm gonna
it's
pull
sorry.
over for a minute.
I'm like, it's
Damn.
still a fucking dog. Like,
Wrong room, I guess.
just because it's a smart dog, it's not like it's gonna help. It can't do algebra, dude. It's not like a genius. Like,
I love dogs. Maybe
You
I'm
can't
a
not love
sucker.
dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I love animals.
We all love
I
dogs,
really do
dude.
love dogs. Like, but it's just I grew up around these wild, mangy dogs that just like ran around, and it was just you
right.
Never really thought
And
about
that's what it's
Yeah.
and that's why Nate Diaz is so good at fighting. Because he grew up around dogs.
Speaking of fighting, did you hear this Elon Musk?
Oh, dude.
Mark
Dude, is
Zuckerberg
that gonna
fight?
even? Is
Did
that
you
gonna,
see-
at the
I think
Coliseum?
it's gonna happen.
Did you-
at the
They're saying there's a chance
Coliseum.
it's gonna happen at the Coliseum.
That's insane.
Did you
dude.
see Adam Hunter's tweet about that?
No, what did he
he said something about Dana White reportedly says he is not promoting any gimmicky fights. That being said, Elon Musk and like Mark Zuckerberg tickets will go on sale like straight into it.
I saw the ticker tape of them. Then I guess like Mark Zuckerberg's like 20 years younger.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg will destroy Elon, dude.
Yeah, I saw
You
him.
think so?
He does.
Dude,
Dude,
MMA.
I've seen him sparring. I've seen him like do the. I can't remember what.
That's the
he
thing,
was
dude.
doing.
If you
But
have
doesn't
time, if
Elon
you have
do
time
that
and
too?
money, dude, you can get good at MMA.
I think people probably attack him all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Public.
Well,
Yeah,
and
they have to.
yeah, when I
Who
was.
wouldn't want to tackle Mark Zuckerberg open field in the middle of the street?
You remember the
Spear him.
You remember the video? You remember the video of Bill Gates getting like pied in the face and like
I mean, how awesome is that? Talk about like I'm bragging about meeting Pamela Anderson. How about the brag about throwing a pie in front?
that, and that's more my style. Like,
yeah.
give a fuck about these bitches.
George Bush got the shoe thrown at him at
Dude, that was
the
that's
news conference.
iconic.
The guy was probably a hero in
He
that.
slipped it though. He was.
Yeah, dude, he
dude.
was spry, dude. I was like, yo.
Oh, he's athletic. He's just dumb. It's a huge difference.
Well, I think that's the thing with a lot of the politicians are just like, I'm like, these guys are retarded. Like,
Oh,
there's a reason they're
yeah.
politicians because they're like,
puppet for
Why
somebody to stick
hasn't
their hand up there.
Mitch McConnell been punched yet? I mean, why has that not happened?
Turn into dust.
Good. The world would be a better place.
he hasn't. Yeah, dude.
I'm
And then
just
like,
saying, dude, at the Coliseum, what are they going to do? Are they going to like refinish the floor
Yeah,
and shit?
Whatever.
and then like the winner decides the fate of social media.
Yeah, that's right. They get the two most popular. social media
All that really
sites.
matters is if you can bet on it, dude.
Yeah, Elon Musk probably ruined Twitter today, though. He put a cap on how many posts you can view.
View?
I can't even refresh my feed right now. I went through my feed, went to the
He
top.
only lets you visit a certain amount of views per
Swear to
day?
God. Swear. Look. listen.
Well, because his bigger plan is to have a social media platform that encompasses
pay
all
for
of.
it?
No, it encompasses all of them. It's called like I can't remember what the plan is, but it's like it's to bring it all together into one.
So he's probably going to fight Zuckerberg for the power of that.
You
That
know?
would be,
or they use that as a marketing ploy to do that. But it's like that's what I've always see. It's hard for me to get into discussions because people just want to get emotional, like politics. You know, you argue these sides. I'm like, where's the money at? Who's
who's profiting? Who's
and if you know
benefiting?
how corporations work and shareholders' interests, like they're doing it for them.
100%.
You know,
it's all
so
money, dude.
so if we employ this virus and say you need a vaccine that you need this many, it's like, well, that's going to benefit a certain group of people profiting off of patenting this certain thing. It's like, well, that makes sense for the shareholders and corporate. You know, your retirement portfolio. What good is it if you're dead?
Well, my question is, why is he wanting to get all these social media together? How does it benefit?
what's the end game?
Because
like who's it benefiting? How?
probably ease of access, something like that, like a.
Well, I mean,
they make
information is
money.
power. I mean, that's
Like
He
I'm
wants to control that, and I'm probably.
I'm trying to combine my LinkedIn, my OnlyFans, and my my Instagram, Facebook into one.
I have an Only Fudge where I just eat in bed and people prescribe. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, when he told me that we were doing a podcast, I looked at it, and the first one I saw was you just shirtless.
Oh God! People always say like, put on your shirt. It's like, you know what? The fact that you hate it so much means I'm never putting it on.
It makes me want to do it more.
Go fuck
I'll
yourself.
take my skin off now. If that pisses you off, worse.
You're gonna see these bones.
These people, man. It's like, you think I want to put, Mr. Beast is talking about, hey, you're going to put a lot of production value into your videos. Like, I wake up, I'm right away, and I just film something, and I'm done for the day, dude.
I just paid $1,400 fucking dollars for this phone.
Bro, it's over, man. I'm not, I don't know, man. I can't figure out the game. Like getting these people to watch your shit.
Oh.
What is it? Like, how do you get millions of people to like you unless you have a great ass?
And then also the attention span is just getting less and less.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
just,
You gotta
Well,
hook
you've
'em.
seen some of the content now. It'll be a girl pressing record, stepping back out, and that's it. And you're like, what? Did I just
30 million views.
What?
30 million views?
I was watching one of these alpha, I get a lot of that in my algorithm, like dudes doing like motivational stuff.
Oh
And,
God! That
the one dude.
sucks.
But it always
Sucks. Fuck
it
you.
always
That's what I say to him, but he loves it.
no, it
It
gives
inspires you.
it gives you it gives me like the jokes on it, because the dude's like, you can be a girl and show your ass online and make more money than guys who are doing construction, literally building the roads we live on and the buildings that we have, and electricians who keep the lights on. I was like, yeah, but what guys do you think are paying these girls to show their ass online? the guys
The construction guys.
So if we pay them more, the girls are just gonna make more. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Perverts will always pay money to see fucking.
Oh, dude,
chicks.
my construction homies, they're big on the strip clubs, big on the
strip
OnlyFans.
club, that's big strip.
You know what I do, dude? Every time I see a girl being a whore on social media,
And that's offensive, first of all, because
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I immediately go to Google, put their name in,
Yeah, you
put
find
the
on
word
Reddit.
porn after it, and I always find a video.
Yeah.
It always leads to some kind of. They're just filth. Not all of them. They're filth. Dude, don't even get me going on this fucking social media filth stuff, because these girls are cheating the game and they think they're fucking brilliant.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If I hit tits and ass too, I'd be a millionaire,
Yeah,
you
dude,
dumb
yeah.
fuck.
That's why.
Yeah, I'd be a whore too.
So yeah, remember I said that? I used that as a joke. I was like, bro, if I was a girl, I'd be such a fucking whore.
Oh,
it'd
dude.
it'd be so easy.
They're all driving around in Range Rovers and thinking they're fucking geniuses. It's like, oh, you figured out your fucking pussy makes money.
What I say to you, just because you thick doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you're thick doesn't make you right.
Oh, God. Oh.
Put it on a shirt.
Yeah, dude, I love that. We should still put that on a shirt. Just because you're thick doesn't make you right.
I said that right in front of the girl I was talking about.
And she was beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
she's
dude,
gorgeous.
they're all fucking beautiful. I mean, dude, listen, this is a million beautiful girls.
Have you ever been married?
Billions.
Have you been married or?
I am currently.
Are you?
Yeah. Japanese girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why'd you get so happy?
She's the best. She's the best, dude. It was easily the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah. How'd you guys meet?
It's not a romantic story, but
Okay. I thought you were gonna be
eBay.
like, I bought her. Yeah. You had that joke. You said we met on eBay.
I was scrolling late one night. And
got a great deal. Half off.
How did you guys really meet though? Was it eBay?
I did a show at the Comedy Store. Me and a couple buddies went down to the Saddle Ranch, which is like right down the street from the Comedy Store. We were sitting there. I looked up. I saw her, and I was like, "Wow, that is the cutest, girl I've seen." And I just approached her, gave her my number, and said, "Hey, I want to hang out. And if you're interested, hit me up." She hit me up, and bro, listen, when it comes to deciding who you spend the rest of your
Yeah,
life with,
yeah.
it is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make.
Yeah, I remember having an ex telling me, like, she's like, this isn't a fucking business decision. I was like, it absolutely is a business
100%
decision.
it is.
Like,
It's the biggest business decision because
Oh, dude.
she's either going to motivate you to become a better man or she's going to
yeah.
whittle you down to a twig.
yeah, dude, and
So
I've always
yes,
been.
It is.
And I think that's always what the misconception was about what like a lot of these like what Andrew Tate was saying and stuff like that. It was like he wasn't talking about like just the whores online or anything like that. He was saying like you need to find a high value, woman.
Yeah, someone who's
You're
gonna.
a good woman who's going to build you up and not knock you down.
Exactly.
You know? And that guy right there, I mean, that's like alpha male fucking training right there. He's teaching you to be like in the zone.
But his message is actually, Andrew Schultz was talking about it. It's actually more for women. Like, this is how you, but the way it comes out.
They're not listening.
No, it's just like
because
Alex
they
Jones.
think he's a misogynist.
Just like Alex Jones.
It's
Alex
just
Jones.
It's the soundbite.
Alex Jones
That's
was
why.
speaking facts years before it happened, but the way he delivers his message, he's like, they're turning the frogs gay.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? But he's actually, did you see that shit?
what he went to jail for?
No. When he had like all these funny quips where he'd be like, they're turning the frogs gay. They're teaching 5-year-olds to suck cock in public school. And like, but he's actually like not far off from the truth. Like
A lot of his shit has resonated true.
Robert Kennedy was on Joe Rogan's podcast and was talking about this chemical atrazine that's in the water now, like the public water supplies. You see all these kids are like not fucking right. They're like none. Less than 50. I remember seeing a study like.
Why was it in the water? Was it a strategic thing?
Yeah, well, I think to demasculate people into being, you know what I mean? Like, because if you have strong,
That's going down
Like,
a different.
like Bear hasn't done that. No.
But if you have a weak men, then no one's gonna revolt or like be like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So, but the study they did with the frogs is they found like this chemical they put in the water, like 40 different frogs. 4 of them ended up actually turning completely female and like actually able to reproduce.
So
Like-
now we're gonna have a whole transgender community.
There we are.
But it's written down in the books, like the Agenda 2030 books. Like transhumanism is like an agenda that they're pushing.
Good God.
It's like, so they want you to be soft. They want you to question these obvious things. It's like, you're a boy, you're a girl. It's not hard to. And now we're having these arguments about this shit while other shit's just happening.
It's amazing the amount of things that are going on to manipulate us.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
To
all
make
times.
us do exactly what they want us to do.
Well, it's our people doing it too, and hats off to them.
Oh, it's power and money once again.
Yeah,
You don't think these politicians aren't at the head of all this?
Well, they're not. They're the.
They're the lobbyists are going to them saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
pass
Essentially,
this."
they're lobbying.
When that's what the
Like, yeah,
fascism.
so-
That's what fascism really is. It's like corporate and
Buying what you- buying
using
what you
government to execute corporate. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah, and it's happening, and we are in the dark in most of it.
Well, yeah, because you talk about
Some of the smart people know.
you
what's
talk
going
about
on.
business and you talk about like money and stuff, and people become disinterested because it is a lot of times dry and boring
Yeah.
to talk about. But you're like, if you don't understand why this is happening, you don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. Like marketing and sales is everything. Everything's marketing and sales in this country, especially.
And deflection. You got to remember, like when you're deflecting away from what's really going on, like that whole submarine thing that happened with the billionaires.
I didn't pay attention to it, dude.
Yeah, but while that was going on,
There
the
was
hunt
all
to
these big
buy-
decisions being
huge things
made.
were going on, and they weren't being
Biden's
reported.
up for like impeachment.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
He was moved for impeachment during that time.
Dude,
Yeah.
he should be. If any president
was deflected.
is this fucking guy, dude.
Well, also his sons they're trying so hard to deflect anything that has to do with his son because
Sounds like a little league
Hunter's,
parent, dude. Just fucking.
he's a mess. Remember the movie with Chris Farley, Black Sheep?
Yeah.
He was trying to hide him because his brother was going for being a
Yeah, and they were
politician.
trying to put him away and just like
And he kept
do
fucking
anything
up.
else.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's basically what they're doing with Biden.
Yeah.
And Biden's too old to really fucking.
No, he's literally got dementia, dude. Like he's
yeah,
fucking.
he's crumbling.
He reminds
dude.
me of my grandpa when we were taking care of him. Like, oh yes, he's obviously not fully capable of doing things.
He can't complete sentences.
Yeah, he
and
just
thoughts
hope that,
anymore.
yeah, and like you're just so embarrassed anytime he talks.
And that's
He's
the
not
president.
running the ship anyways.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Obama's in a ditch somewhere running that fucking puppet.
Well, it's not even him either. I don't know though. You know?
I'd be surprised if Obama wasn't doing a lot of because when Obama was president, there was no controversy. Nothing was like really brought up about him. And that's how this administration is going right now. They're picking on Biden, but they're not picking on how he's running the country. That's because I think Obama's in the background running it.
Yeah, it's more
Possibly.
probably more just that party. It's like I saw something.
I
You
never
know
really
who?
thought about that.
Yeah,
That's
but the
kinda
parties.
interesting.
Who's
You know
the
who?
party run
You know who?
by?
Dave. What the fuck is his name? He's a David something.
Whoa. For what does he do?
He's like Middle Eastern, I think, or he's not Middle Eastern, but he's definitely like, I don't know, David something. He's a motivational guy though, not David Goggins, but his name's it's Patrick Michael.
But
Betts.
what's the point?
What's his name? Something Michael Patrick Betts or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
I think that's his name.
Oh, yeah,
Anyways,
what
he
was
was
the
talking
point?
about different of like John F. Kennedy, different people who've run for politics, Donald Trump, how much money they contribute of their own to their campaign.
Yeah.
And it's like 75% of their campaign was funded by themselves. All the Democratic, like Clinton, Obama, zero. It's all funded by special interests.
Bought out. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, well, that has to be obvious when you're like, this guy's literally retarded. He's not fully functional anymore.
Well, he's not in a position where he's strong. Like the president's supposed to be presidential.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be strong.
And if you're
You
too
watch.
good, and if you're too good at it, like you make
Like
too
a
much
figurehead.
change, they kill you. Like,
Well, that's what they did to Kennedy.
and Abe Lincoln, the two
Yeah.
guys that like probably did the most. Ooh,
Yeah.
they were for the people. Yeah, fuck that.
And they made great movements to better better the country, better the movement of the progression of this country.
Well, yeah.
Of course, they take them out.
Have you ever
because-
seen? There's a really good documentary. It's the best documentary. I always recommend it. I recommend it if you're listening to this. It's called Century of the Self. You ever seen it?
No.
It's about Edward Bernays, who's like Freud's nephew, happens to be a Jew, of course, but he's like the father of spin. Like he used like Freud's teachings when he came to America, and all the corporations would be like, "How do we?" He basically figured out how to manipulate masses. Instead of calling it propaganda, they're like, "Well, Germans ruined that word, so we call it public relations." It's like how he and there's stories on like how he got like women to start smoking cigarettes and like start doing certain things because of appealing to like basically the elites got together and said,
It's the foundation of marketing. is
yeah,
what
we're
it
not actually capable of a true democracy, so we have to control these people, because Freud's like findings are like deep down we're these sexually crazy wild creatures, because he talks about civilization as discontent is basically we're wild primitive beings that are always going to be unhappy because we're giving up our liberties to have a society that we can live in, because we can't just be wild beasts. And so he's
Well, isn't that what religion is
Yeah.
initially?
control, right?
Yeah.
So basically
And give you a moral code. to-
yeah. And honestly,
hereby.
like you're like the values are pretty good. Like maybe you shouldn't have sex till you're married. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but like you do that, like no STDs, no unwanted kids, a lot of things you wouldn't know that there's so much better pussy out there. Like,
Well, first of all, you want to test what you're
yeah.
marrying.
yeah.
You want to make sure it's good. That's
Well, yeah,
the-
dude.
that's-
You think you've had a blowjob, and then you have someone give you the double twisty, just like
Don't look at me.
And then when you, yeah,
Don't look me in my eye.
you're like,
STDs
yo.
aren't that bad. I've never had one, but let's be honest.
You take a few pills and you're
And
fine.
you're done, yeah.
No.
So look, the point is,
Apparently someone has.
All right.
what?
How many STDs have you had?
I just had chlamydia once.
Okay.
I got it
Same,
once.
actually. Just it.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all the filthy people in this room, me being the most, none.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, I mean,
I'm still in my prime.
well, I would think that I probably got more than you had. You know what I mean?
I've been
But
through
this
a lot
guy
of
this guy
beasts.
gets more than
Yeah?
He always feels the need to point that out, but yeah. I do all right.
I do all right. Hey.
I do all right. Oh, my
So
God.
how did we get to STD?
I know, right? Let's wrap this up. This has been we're over
What's
an hour, anyways.
Are we?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
dude.
I had a good time. I hope.
That was
I
great.
hope
I know it was a wide range of. We started of comedy. We ended up in STDs. Government was
That's-
in there along the way.
comedy's like an STD.
That's
you
how
know?
that's how
Oh,
this
God.
that's how this show goes. It's a
Yeah, it's the funny truth.
it's a funny
The
truth.
funny truth. Well, I had a good time. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, I
man.
appreciate you coming or agreeing to this.
I'll do it again. Sure, why not?
Yeah.